All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect. Their teachings word on true faith and sincerity. And today, I just want to tie this lesson. The mark is a reality, which is the mark of the beast. That system is coming abroad. It's being made manifest here on the planet Earth. Pretty much everything is digital. It's going to get to a point where it's going to be mandatory if you want to continue your comings and goings within this system. You're going to have to take that thing, that sea helper. And the evidence continue to pop up throughout the earth. That this prophecy that you can't get wrong is becoming clear and obvious of what it is. So I got this first article from Turkmen Portal, and it reads, a fair payment system using palm scanning has started working in a Turkish Tashkent metro. Now, this came out a couple years back, but that show you what we at in this process, how much more now, how much more other countries have adopted this. This is Tashkent, this is in Uzbekistan. Yeah, Uzbekistan. Over there in Central Asia. And we know concerning Asia, these goots. It's concerning like the Moabites, Ammonites. They hold fast to the customs of E and his ways. And that's why they are somewhat as a trailblazer or forerunner concerning that digital system. They got you got citizen scores. This is what this devil trying to bring forth throughout the planet Earth. So, a matter of fact, this is the other one. Rudal.net, and it reads, China tests brain chip implants to restore mobility. So this is to show you too that this is not a regional thing. All the nations pretty much are on board concerning this transition going digital. Yeah, they got their other differences here and there with other things and policies, but concerning this system, this digital system that's coming about, the technology, all the nations are on board. From Iran got a CBDC. Russia, they all in on concerning the tech. So this prophecy is a reality, and it's about to get up close and personal. So, matter of fact, let's start this in the book of Revelation 3, because as we read concerning those two articles, those are two different locations. We'll just show you that this is that new world order. That's not just reserved in North America. No, this is a global thing. So this is Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So that hour of temptation is really when that thing is mandatory. And these devils been trying to put this on the books for a minute. All these cases where the employees want to chip the employee. even now you got, depending on your job, you gonna need that ID card to get in that door, which is that chip. But it's gonna take a next. You gotta, that ID card gonna be in you. That chip gonna be in you. Or it talks when you, when you watch the old cartoon Futurama. For him to get acclimated in the future, before he can step outside and see how much the world have changed within 1,000 years, that nigga had to get a chip. So that's what's taking place. This reality is about to be made manifest, man. This man, his intents and purposes is about to be made clear, but really it's the Lord's intents and purposes. Let's get this in the book of Daniel 3. And when you read this chapter, it's pretty much a prelude on that mark coming down and being made mandatory. Back then, they had the image. And when you heard the music, you had to bow. Well, today is going to be that chip. And that music going to be them news stations telling you to go get it, man. So this is Daniel 3. And so like in 1, it says Nebuchadnezzar the king had made an image of gold whose height was 80 cubits and the breadth of 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. So pretty much they was all on board, and it was concerning just this government. But look at today's time, all these governments are, as I mentioned earlier in the spirit, they are on board concerning this transition to this digital system. From, you got Jamaica, they got, I think it's called Jam Debts, they got a CBDC. You know, these countries, India, hell, Sweden is a high percentage of that population. They got the thing, man. They got that thing. So this is where we at in this process. Matter of fact, let me continue on. It said, then a herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages. See? So it's gonna, people, nations, and languages. It wasn't just the Babylonians, the Assyrians. This was only one that it applied to. No, it said, oh, people, nations, and languages. So that's what we seeing today with these nations. From the Moabites to Elam. Hell, fucking Ham is dealing with those CBDCs. But that's because they dealing with China and Russia, you know. Well, as you can see, ultimately, it's going to be a commandment. It's going to be a decree. That at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth the same hour shall be cast into the midst of the burning fire, of a burning fiery furnace. So for you to live in a sense of you can still have your job and You able to pay your bills and your notes. You gotta have that thing. If you don't, you gonna, in a sense, die. You ain't gonna be able to make that transaction. You just want some water. You want a bottle of water. You ain't got that chip. And of course, this devil's gonna make you an enemy of the state. It's gonna actually try to put you to death. But that's gonna be a part of it. This nigga trying to rub you out the system. In a sense, you can't make no transaction. You can't come and go. And that's why we trust in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. As we just read in Revelation, the 3rd chapter. Yahushai said he's gonna keep us from the hour of temptation, man. That's who we lean upon. That's who we hope in, trust in. We actually anticipate that moment. You know? That's when the Lord gonna really show out. As you can see, concerning when you read, it was a commandment to bow down to the image. So that's coming. That's gonna come. That's why you think Trump got all in his cabinet number technocrats and everything is coming together. Matter of fact, let's get something before we end off on that. Isaiah 42 in verse 9, it reads, "Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." And started with the apostles to hard on down, the apostles great millstone on down. You know, bringing forth that prophecy of the microchip. And how's that? The mark of the beast, man. So now, when it come forth, once it's made manifest, you know, then you should say, then ye shall know that a prophet have been among you. You're going to know who Yahweh by Shema was dealing with. So these things is really is springing forth now. You got to adjust your doctrine because this prophecy is becoming more clear and obvious what it is. So let's end off on this in the book of Revelation 13 in verse 16. It reads, "And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor and free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead." So when you go into that word cause of, pretty much that goes into a decree and eat it. Ultimately, it's going to become mandatory. And this devil, the devil he got all these different similar words for mandatory, such as compulsory. The nigga throw that out. And you sign right under that shit. Not knowing that he was saying it's mandatory. And this is what he did with the jail. The nigga ain't even say it's mandatory. He was saying it's compulsory. They try to water it down to lighten the punch, so to speak. But it still end up being, you can't do it unless you get this. It said, "And no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." And as you can see now, how he's pushing and promoting it as, you know, it can heal and cure. It's efficient. You know, you ain't got to worry about fraud. Even with this nigga, CJ2K, Chris Johnson, nigga dealing with Lou Gehrig's disease, and I was saying something concerning, you know, biotechnology and ALS. Someone beats probably the nigga a crash dummy for the chip and see what they can do to, you know, make progress concerning that disease. But at the end of the day, it just digital shackles. Much as how this nigga want to try to push it and promote it as some as form of convenience, it's that digital all. It's just an indicator that you making a claim that you want this devil to be your master. And that's what it's gonna be. He is gonna be your master. Cause now you can't say faggot. You do, your chip gonna cut off. Or he might kill you with the chip. As you can see, China, they got the citizen scores. It gets so low you can't even take the train no more. So that only will lead to another form of captivity, the digital version. But the Lord is not going to allow this man to cry his enterprise success. He's going to disappoint him. So yeah, Akim, I hope this will edify. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rechah, Kudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Green Millstone. Shalom to the elect, and his teacher's word in all true faith and sincerity. Shalom.